I'm back. All right. Long time no see. I know I've been gone for a little while. The last video I did was a movie review of Intergalactic, and it did surprisingly well. Well, way better than I expected. It's currently sitting at 160 something views. But I wanted to thank you guys for that. Even if you didn't see the movie, you sat there and watched the review, and maybe that made you want to watch the movie and then come back to my video, and now you have a better understanding of it. I appreciate everybody who watched the video. I watched it myself about 30 times, so. But to get to the point of this video, what now, basically? I'm not working on Slacks at the moment. It's currently, well, the store's been closed for about maybe 6 months now. I'm not entirely sure. I do not plan on opening it back up anytime soon for right now. It's kind of hard to accept that Slacks is just not the way right now. So I recently got a storage unit for about maybe a week and a half now, and I finally moved all my inventory to the storage unit. It was kind of hard, not really physically, but more like mentally, like, dang, I did put in all this work, all these hours and stuff like that, and now they're just going to be collecting dust elsewhere. Because they were already collecting dust in my room in the corner, but now they're about to be elsewhere. But before I let Slacks kind of be on a shelf on this channel, I kind of want to talk about it all together in my first year of being in business. So I finally released Slacks out to the public in February 2024. I remember I was sitting on my parents' bed when I was making all the posts and stuff like that, because my website was ready, inventory was already ready to go and stuff like that. I had all the supplies. So if I had even just one order, 10 orders, 50 orders, then that one, the very first day I opened, I was gonna be ready to go, right? I remember it was 11 o'clock in the morning when I finally made all those posts and stuff like that. And I remember I was really tired from a shift. I remember I went to sleep as soon as I made all those posts about, opening the store and stuff like that, get your order and stuff like that. Woke up, boom, all right, check my phone, nothing, no order, okay, cool. All right, I'm not tripping, you know what I'm saying? It's only been a few hours, all right. And then a whole day went, right? And I made a post. I was already at work. It was probably midnight, maybe 1 in the morning and stuff like that, because I work overnight. I made a post on TikTok, and it said oh, here's how many orders I got in one day and stuff like that. Cool. I wasn't capping. I wasn't lying. I wasn't trying to front and act like my business was booming and stuff like that. I made no sales that day. Nothing, right? I wasn't mad at anybody. I wasn't mad at anybody who said they was going to buy as soon as the store opened and stuff like that. Whatever. My first mistake on opening day was my expectations were too high. And I say that because I didn't market it in the best way. It was no build up, no climax, nothing. It was nothing. It was kind of a post here and there, and then hey, they're out. You know what I mean? So I can't be mad at having no sales. I was still really happy. Being positive, I was happy that I actually did something of my own. I'm experiencing with business. So yeah. Then the next day came, and I wasn't really expecting anything. I was still posting and stuff like that. I was making content. I remember I was in the living room this time, and listening to other businesses, their YouTube, TikToks and stuff like that. I'm accustomed to the sound of Shopify buys, their notification sounds, right? So I'm just chilling there in the living room, and I was in the middle of doing something, I don't remember, but I think it was related to Slacks. And I heard it, and I looked at my phone. I looked at my notifications, and it said, new order and stuff like that. And you would think, since I'm from Michigan, that my first order would be from a family member or it'd be from somebody here. No, it was from someone all the way in Boston, Massachusetts. I was even more geeked because it came from somewhere I never been to. I experienced something that I wanted to feel for a long time, which was have my work in somewhere that I have no idea. I have no knowledge about. I don't know anything about this area and stuff like that. If you were to plot me in Boston, I would not know where I was at. You know what I'm saying? It was pretty dope that it was somebody out of Michigan who liked my work enough to buy it, right? Shout out to John, man. Shout out to John. And yeah, I was really excited. I got it. I got the order, right upstairs, you know what I'm saying? Or got the order in line and stuff like that, and I was ready to ship same day, you know what I'm saying? I posted it all over my social media that I got my first order and things in that matter, because he followed me around the same time. Because I remember he followed me on Instagram first. Cool. Then a couple minutes later, I get a buy. I was like, oh, you're supporting me on a whole different level. And I had to look on his page. I'm like, oh, I see why, because you really like playing cards. All right, cool. So boom, got his order out. And he liked it so much that he created a review. And I really appreciate it. Now I got somebody vouching yo, this is good work. This is not just, something I just put out just to make a quick dollar. This is actually good quality cards. And it's beautiful designs. So the rest of the orders, they came out different dates. I don't necessarily remember them. But I remember it was at one point that business was booming because my father supported my business by, letting people know that, his daughter sell playing cards and things of that matter. So at the moment, I was selling the Melanin edition. That was the only set of cards I was selling, right? He would tell me, bring a box. So it's a small box in my inventory that has a total of 36. And in a matter of, I think, 2 or 3 days, he got 2 of these boxes, sold them both. I was like, how the heck is my daddy selling more cards than me? And I'm the owner, you know what I'm saying? So imagine having the desire of making money in your sleep, and then you finally do it. I remember I woke up, man. I woke up, checked my phone, said new order, this and that, whatever. And it's oh my goodness, I was geeked. And it wasn't just because, all right, I woke up to making money, this and that, whatever. It would be throughout the day. I remember I was in the Uber and I got a couple cash apps. It was like a $60 cash app, this and that, whatever, for another order. So I'm constantly getting payments for my own work. So boom, I remember I got another order. I was in the middle of working. I was in the middle of picking tires and stuff like that. And I got this notification on Shopify. And it was like a total of $50, right? 50 something dollars. Somebody ordered 4. Not even somebody, a very good friend and his mother ordered some cards and stuff like that, right? I loved so much of the support because this is it was people that I did not know, and it was also people who I did know. But it was a pro to concept. The pro was I was having a lot of motion. I was having a lot of orders and, having money and stuff like that outside of the job. You know what I'm saying? Outside of my main job, I was making money off of something of my own. So it was a huge pro. My smile got bigger. My eyes added a little twinkle, you know what I'm saying? But the con was I was not pushing the business on social media and stuff like that, because I knew eventually that everybody's going to have their cars and stuff like that, and business will eventually slow down. So I needed to manage my social medias and try to push as much content as possible. That way I'll get more supporters and get more buys. But eventually everything slowed down. I get a order every now and then, stuff like that. I'll still ship it out on the same day, sometimes the next. I remember another significant moment I had. I got a random order. I think it was I know it was sometime in the summer. It was maybe June or July, maybe August. But I remember I got an order of 5 by a huge supporter, another supporter other than John, which her name was Tiffany. She bought from me, I think, at least 3 times. I remember she ordered from me 5 total one day. And I was like, dang, I gotta give away my first box. And when I tell you I was so happy that day, instead of using whatever I think it was bubble mailers, whatever I was using, I was normally using bubble mailers, I think. I was using a box. So I was like, oh, look at me. So I got into my networking bag for a little bit. And I remember a really big thing I did. So I came across this Instagram page called Love, Peace, and Spades, right? Spades, all right, that's right up my alley because I sell playing cards. Well, how else do you play spades? The Love, Peace, and Spades page was really Black, heavenly cultured, right? So I'm thinking, put two and two together, right? All right, cool. I hit the owner up. I emailed them. No, I sent the DM, and then we got each other's emails and stuff like that. And we set up a business meeting, and we talked about how, hey, I was offering a deal of, having some sort of business of I'll ship out, these amount of cars, this and that, whatever, for your events and stuff like that. Because I'm thinking, okay, if you guys are really into the Black culture, you might as well have Black owned cards. But tell me he already had a sponsorship from someone else. Cool. All right. I said, okay, I want to enter the raffle. Somebody's a winner and stuff like that. They get different decks of cards. And one of them was mine. So we agreed. All right, bet. You know what I'm saying? And he said at least send 6 to 8. I said 8. So I grabbed another box, wrapped them up real nice, you know what I'm saying? And he didn't want business cards because, didn't want, the plastic and stuff like that. Cool. I just sent over a barcode of my shop in case anybody wanted the cards at the event. So my work came from Michigan all the way to California. I was like, California. My work touched there before I did. I was like, oh my goodness, Cali? Bro, one of the best things was having your work in like different places. Like I think I covered, it was Michigan, Massachusetts, Texas, California, North Carolina, and I think that's it. I think so. So the person that I sent it to for the events, I think it was held September 7th. No, 27th, somewhere around there. I remember I didn't have them pay anything. I sent all 8 of them for free to be a part of the raffle. It was more like a networking thing other than, just trying to get a quick buck and stuff like that. I kind of just wanted to expand my work. We haven't talked since that event after he sent me an email to send him a PNG file of my logo for a thank you card that I never seen. I wanted to see it, but I never got to see it. But anyway, boom. That was all the way in September. So I got one last sale from one of my sister's friends, and that was about it. The store closed afterwards, and I was able to reopen it. I've been able to reopen it since last month, but I decided not to. I would say for my first year of business, it was an experience. I loved it. I think it's a few things that I could have did better for my first year, and it was to market better. I should have been marketing my stuff way more, and I should have been adding an anticipation for the opening day, right? I should have had a build up for opening day. That's one of the takeaways. Another was I bought way too much inventory. I remember I was left with at least 916 decks, and not all of them was sold. Some of them were, the 8 was given away. A few was used for my own videos, my own promo videos, my own content and stuff like that, but not too many. So a majority of them are, shipped off to people and stuff like that. I bought 1,000, okay? That was a big mistake. I shouldn't have bought 1,000, but the minimum was 1,000 with the manufacturer I was working with. If I chose someone else, then it would have been a big difference. It would have been, 700 less for me to get started with, and that's probably what I should have chose. I was just really overconfident of the way it was going to go. And before I share my last con, I'm going to share the pros. So some pros were I got experience. I got experience for sales, for social media, and in person and stuff like that. Another pro is I did something on my own. Slacks is 100% mine, right? Something that was in my head at one point, moved to digital, which is my computer, stayed on file for at least 2 years, and then it turned physical, something real, something I can actually hold and play with, right? So that's a huge pro. I did something, I planned something. It all started off with an idea, and then it turned into a work in progress, and then it turned to something real, something physical, and a lot of people don't reach there. So yeah, gotta pat myself on the back for that. Another pro, a leap of faith. I did something that a lot of people aren't talking about, that's not really talked about online and stuff like that, is making playing cards. because I'll say the most popular thing to sell online are clothes, maybe jewelry, service, of course, the hair, nails, lashes, stuff like that. What else? Accessories. There's nothing wrong with any of these at all. You know what I'm saying? We all got to make our bread. It's just going through this business, going through my first year business, I was really contemplating of what was I getting myself into. Yes, playing cards is different. It's very different. However, is it so different that it's completely left field? Will I really get as much support as I thought I was going to get? Not even support from people I know, like support from people who I don't know. Am I really going to make as much money as I thought I was doing something that isn't really normally talked about online? And I was really going back and forth with that during my first year. Like, why Slack? Why playing cards? Why? You know what I'm saying? Like, it could have been anything else, but you chose cards. I'm turning this into a con. I didn't mean to. But it's still a pro because it's something that I did a leap of faith. You know what I'm saying? I'm proud of myself for doing something different. I had another income. My second income, like, ever. Other than, doing other things when I was younger, like raking leaves and, finding chains between couch cushions and stuff like that. I made money. Doing something that I love, doing something that was completely mine. And I made money in my sleep. That's another pro. Now that I'm on camera breaking this all down, I think I was really hard on myself my first year. Like, that's another con. Like, I was really, really hard on myself. I was contemplating on my business like almost every day, especially between the months of July through, the closing of my shop, that I was really going back and forth on, why did I do this? Why did I choose playing cards and all that stuff like that? Did I, like, that J. Cole song? Like, that, like, what I'm saying, that has that line, you want to, like, something, please don't quote me, but good news is you went a long way. Bad news is you went the wrong way. You know what I'm saying? And that scares me. Like, did I really go the right way with this product? Choosing a product like this. But what I want to say is the very last con, to be a little more real, I would say the last con was having the Melanin edition come out first as the breaking deck of the brand Slacks, right? Here's why. I would say the reason why I shouldn't have released the Melanin edition first was because it made my image, my brand, look like a kind of like a black only brand. And that's not what I'm reaching for. I kind of want, not even kind of, I absolutely want everyone to be involved in with my cards and stuff like that, because when you think of bicycle, you think about everybody else and stuff like that. When you think of Maverick, you think about everybody else playing, bees, tallies, stuff like that. All these different playing cards, and you don't really think, okay, this is mainly for this group, you know what I'm saying? But when you look at Slacks, it's like, oh, maybe it's only for this group. And it's really not, you know what I'm saying? Like, I want everybody to play with my cards, so that's why I think releasing the Melanin edition was a bad move to release first. The only reason I moved forward with the Melanin edition was because it was the very first one I thought about when I was in that garage in my house. And everything else just came second, third, fourth, fifth. You know what I'm saying? Because originally this was going to be the only deck I released, and then everything else was pretty much non-existent. But then I was thinking about, like, wow, I'm really passionate about this. Like, I've had so much fun designing these cards and planning everything that I wanted to keep going and release different ones. So I wanted to break down the whole journey of this company, you know what I'm saying? This $1 billion company. I'm calling it now. You know what I'm saying? Because I know it is. I know it is very much capable of being a $1 billion company as long as I direct it correctly and learn from it. Slacks. 2020, man. Let's go to 2020. So boom, I'm in my garage. Just graduated from high school. It's the lockdown, the pandemic, And I was struggling to figure out my next step in life. And school normally pressures you to go to college. So that's what I did. I was trying to go to my dream college, CCS. So as a lot of people know who been on my channel before, they know that this is my second attempt of going to my dream college, CCS, College for Creative Studies. This time I was really, really locked in. I remember I was in the garage one day, casually doing art and stuff like that. I remember it was like probably, I know the sun was out. So anyway, I know the sun was out, and it just dawned on me of slacks, creating playing cards. And the thing was, I was already so busy trying to create my portfolio that I put the idea on the shelf in my head. Right? It wasn't the kind of shelf that just like was left alone and eventually will fade away and create more space for new things to be forgotten about. It was the kind of shelf that's like, it had a spark, like some fire attached to it. So it stayed on my mind and I thought about it every single day. You know, it was the type of idea to not let go. So boom, got accepted to my dream college. Now we're shifting on to 2021. 2021, I remember I was doing some demos, some rough drafts of the cards. I remember the first one was the King of Diamonds. That gotta be the first one. And if I have a copy of it, I'll put it on the video. You'll see a difference between, you know, the original and the final of the card. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. The thing is, I had a huge problem. And that problem was I did not know how to draw bodies for real. Because it's 2021 and I just got back into my art bag in 2020. Before then, I was taking a really long break. Like, I think it was about 3 years, right? I was still killing it in art class, but I wasn't advancing. Like, I wasn't really into art as much as I used to. Yes, I was good at it. I was good at what I was doing in art class, but it's just something I wasn't passionate about. So I wouldn't do anything outside of the class. So that kind of made me a little discouraged, but I kept going, right? So to solve that problem, I'm in art school. So I got figure drawing classes and I took that serious. All right, got better, improved and stuff like that. So now it's a little bit easier to make these cards. However, I was so overwhelmed with art. I think people think of art college like as really little, like you don't got to do much but make art, right? The thing was, it's really overwhelming because you're doing different things for various classes, even things that you're not good at, right? I came in college for animation and I'm sculpting. You know what I'm saying? It's like you do different things in art, even the things that you're not really into. Like, I do not like painting. Like, if you know me, I don't like painting at all, right? But I'm painting in art. I mean, I'm painting in my college. So yeah, we move on to 2022. It's still nothing. The thing is, I wanted to pursue it and I was doing my research, right? I was doing my research on playing cards and stuff like that. I'm always doing research. I was getting kind of overwhelmed because it was a video I came across that said that, oh, you need to do it on Adobe Illustrator. I do not like Adobe Illustrator. I hate it. I'm more of a Adobe Photoshop kind of person. I love Adobe Photoshop. Whenever I get overwhelmed, I get a headache and I leave it alone for a little bit, right? It stays on my mind. It stays on my mind every day. However, when the headache goes away, that's when I resume back on what I'm doing, right? So anyway, I remember it was spring break and I didn't have my suite anymore. I was living with roommates because it's my second semester in college. I had 2 of them. It was spring break. Both of them were out. I went back home and I went to a Family Dollar, right? I always get these papers. I think it's like a You Create kind of sheet. I think I have one. I always use these sheets for art, right? It's like $1.50. They used to be 50 cents. So it's 12 faces, adding on to the jokers and stuff like that. So I grabbed 14 of these, of those You Creates. And then I went back to my dormitory, laid out all the papers, laid out all the sheets across the dormitory by myself. Cool, let me lock in. I remember I started with the Queen of Spades. Didn't go well. To make the story short, it did not go well whatsoever. I was struggling with the body and stuff like that, and it made me really frustrated. Long story short, I wasted all 13 of those papers. I literally don't know where they are. That was like, it was spring break, so that was 2022. And it wasn't long before I left that school because it was spring break, so it had to be like March or something. And we get out of school in like May, right? May came around. I left the school and never came back. So boom, May came around. Got a job at a country club, yada, yada, yada. Locked in the slacks. Finally locked in, right? Man, when I tell you it was a really, really long process, because now it's 2022, had this idea in 2020. All right, come on, let's make this happen, right? I was working on it for months. Even on vacation, I was so locked in. Like in July, every single year, I would go to Louisiana, right? West Monroe, Louisiana. I remember I stayed in my hotel a lot to work on the cards, right? I would work all night because I'm accustomed to working all night because my job is a night shift job, right? So I'm working all night. And the thing is, I was so locked in. I would get up at I would go to bed at around like 5 or 6, get up at 9 and and keep going. And the thing is, at the same time, I had a sample on the way here. I had a sample on the way to Michigan and stuff like that. And the website I used to have the samples made is makingplayingcards.com, right? It's not the best for the quality, but if you want to see a deck of cards, like before you go over to the bulk and stuff like that, all right, I suggest them. 2022 was a lot of experiencing with the cards, seeing their physical form and what they look like. I'm so glad I did that, because if I went with the first one, I would be really unhappy if I really bought the bulk order of those. So the second one came. I remember I was working at FedEx. So boom, FedEx was an era because I was really working on financing these cards. Making playing cards is expensive, okay? So I had to come up with quite a sum of money, maybe like $1,000 at that moment, because of the person I was working with. So I was originally going to work with Bicycle, but the thing is, they never responded to me. All right, boom, moved on to another competitor. I forgot, it started with a C. I put it in the video. Never responded to me. And I came across another one. It was called Legends Playing Cards. I will never forget their name because of our story. Man, the very first thing that I think about when I think of Legends Playing Cards is the time. How much time it takes for them to email me back. That was really annoying. It took about 2 weeks to get one email back. 2 weeks. But the thing is, their quality was really good. I loved their playing cards. So I would buy a playing card from their company and I would examine, what I like, what I don't like, the textures and stuff like that. All right, everything was good. It felt better than Bicycle. Just because Bicycle is the most popular playing card manufacturer, it doesn't mean it's the best. So I'm talking to them. I'm sending emails every 2 weeks. They respond to me and stuff like that. And we're chopping it up. Here's what happened. They stopped responding to me. I didn't get an email from them for 2 months. I didn't send them any money, nothing like that. The only thing I did was I sent them my playing card editions. They sent me an email saying, we're sorry to inform you that we're not taking any new customers, stuff like that. I emailed them back and said, I've been working with you guys since October. It's February. So I was like, I'm not new. Like, technically I'm new, but at the same time, I've been talking to you guys for quite some time. So they said, we can't work with you guys, stuff like that. So I remember that same day I had work and I was home alone. And when I got that email, I was losing my mind. I'm talking screaming. I'm yelling. I'm hollering. I'm so angry because I wasted so much time working with Legends Playing Card Company that I could have worked with someone else and I would have had these cards manufactured and stuff like that. Could have, right? I'm on the phone. I'm yelling. I'm angry, man. Like, I just sitting here talking about it's making my heart beat so fast because I remember how angry I was. The person I was on the phone with, very close friend, love him, cool. Calm me down. Like, hey, it's all right. Calm down. Straighten your mind, straighten your thoughts. It's not the end of the world. Forget them. They don't matter. You're going to have your car manufactured one way or another, and it don't have to be them. When I calmed down, my logic became a little higher. Not even a little. A lot higher than my emotions. Because before then, emotions way up here. Logic way down there. Crashing out mode, full on. So I finally got my thoughts together. I was thinking, okay, it's not the end of the world. We're going to find another manufacturer. This is probably God telling me this is not the way because you're going to be waiting forever to get your stuff, right? and it's probably gonna be overpriced. So, same day, I went on to some websites, did some more research on some manufacturers, and I found about 3. I found 3 new manufacturers, and I hit them all up. And the thing was, I was nervous because normally they do not respond. So I was so attached to Legends Playing Card Company because they eventually responded to me. They gave me a chance to talk to them and try to work with them, right? So I held on to that really tightly, and when I lost that, that's when I lost my mind. You know what I'm saying? That's when, I started to lose hope of what I was doing. So the same day, I sent out 3 emails. One to Hanson, WJPC, and Expert Playing Card Company. I really wanted Expert Playing Card Company to respond to me, but to this day, they never responded to me, to this day. So, went to work, went to FedEx, this and that, whatever, having all the emails sent, and I worked, right? That whole shift was a bit annoying, miserable, because I was in a bad mood the entire day. Lost my manufacturer, gotta come to work with all this stuff on my mind. Alright, boom. But the thing was, I was part-time, so I was out after like 4 hours. Cool. The thing is, my phone, it stays outside. It stays in the locker because we can't bring our phones inside. Alright, boom. Come back. I didn't expect anything. I didn't expect any emails, no DM, no messages from the manufacturers and stuff like that. Didn't expect anything. Got my phone, got inside the car, looked at my phone. And one thing about it, I love checking emails, right? So I opened it, looked at my notification center, and I noticed an email. I noticed 2 emails. And they were emails from Hanson and WJPC. And when I tell you I was so geeked, like, it felt like a close one door and 2 new doors open. That's what it felt like, Oh my goodness, just talking about it, I'm losing breath. Like, my heart is pumping so fast. Let me calm down. I'll be right back. Hold on. So I got in contact with both of them. One was Chris, which was the Hanson manufacturer, and WJPC, I had Jenny. So I decided to work with Hanson, stuff like that. I stopped talking to Jenny around February that year. No, February 2023. So now we're in 2023. So the difference between Legends Playing Card Company and Hanson were the time difference. I didn't have to wait a week to get a response from Chris. Sometimes I had to wait a day, 12 hours. Sometimes we went back and forth. Just sometimes. I work a night shift, so it's like this was literally in God's plan because he's all the way in Taiwan, you know what I'm saying? So it's a whole different, time zone. So I think it's like a 13-hour difference. But the thing is, I'm up all night. Like, I work a night shift, so it's like anytime he texts me, I'm always up. So I'm talking to Chris every day, every other day, stuff like that about, the car and stuff like that. And eventually, we discuss the pricing and stuff like that. Everything is set. Everything is good. Everything looks good. Gave me the price. We split it up in 2 ways. So it was a total of $4,000, right? Really like $3,000 something, right? It turned over to 4 because it was a little push of the shipping, right? I got fired from FedEx. I got fired in April, and I was like, dang, what am I gonna do? What am I gonna do? I got fired because I was late all the time and stuff like that, right? My fault. Totally my fault. I remember I got the phone call in an Uber. Got the phone call, stuff like that. We sorry to inform you that you've been terminated, and that whatever for due to tardiness, stuff like that. The rest of April was hard to deal with because I had no job, so it wasn't really much I could do. But in the meantime, what I did do was work on another deck, which was the standard edition. I was already working on while I was working at FedEx, so I just continued doing that and had more free time. But May came around, I had a new job. I had a new job set up at the end of April, and I started in the beginning of May. Another door closing and another door opening. Everything is aligned because this job was full-time. It was good pay, and it was pretty much unlimited overtime, right? From May to October, I was working my behind off. I'm talking like working 12, 13, 14, 15 hours a day. I'll go to sleep on the couch. That way I don't get too comfortable on the bed. Take a shower, get ready for work, All right, boom, work the shift. Working all day from 4 o'clock to all the way to 6, 7, maybe 8 o'clock in the morning. And it took so long because I'll be honest, I got a little spending problem, a little irresponsible with my money and stuff like that, because I will make, on average, I made $8 to $1,000 a week. That was like $14.50 an hour, really $14.25 when I first started. So in October, I finally paid all of it, right? The first portion, I paid it in, I think in August. It was like $1,500, right? $1,500 in August. Then I paid another portion of it in probably September, and I got my decks in October. So I had to pay $1,500 for each, and then pay an extra $800 for the shipping fee. Cool. Finally got the cards. It was the best experience of my life. I remember it was like 7 packages at my front door. 7 heavy packages. And you know where they came from? You know how they were shipped. What ship carrier they came from? FedEx. They came from FedEx. So it's like, bro, life is crazy. Like, it's so crazy how life can be so aligned, in like the universe is just so, it's scary and amazing at the same time. I just got fired from FedEx. So boom, I got my products, opened them, everything looked perfect. Everything looked fantastic. Man, I cannot stress this enough. Everything looked great. Got 1,000 of those in October. Didn't open shop until February. And the reason because of that was because I wanted to build up, a climax for the opening. Didn't end up doing it, and I decided to just drop it. So that's where we are. That's where we were. Fast forward all the way to now. And you're probably asking, what is the next step, Slack, in your business Slacks? What is your next step, right? The truth is, I don't completely know. One part of me wants to let this go for a little while, put it back on the shelf that I originally put it on, just for a little bit longer. And another half of me is telling me to pursue Slacks, but go another direction and take it more serious. So I'm in the tug of war between that, and I haven't decided yet. And I'm not going to decide during this video. But what I can tell you is the Slacks Melanin Edition is being put up for right now. Love the deck. I love the deck to death. Fell in love with it while I was creating it. I remember every stroke that I put on the tablet, the graphic tablet. I remember everything. So it made me so much in love with it because it's work that I did, right? It was some days I made a complete card in one day. Some of the cards took a couple weeks. Not necessarily, it didn't need to, but it just stretched to 2 weeks and stuff like that. Some of them took a couple days and stuff like that. I was always working on it. Every single day I was always working on it. Like, you go to work for a $1 billion company, sometimes $1 million company, and then you come back home and work for yourself. So you could be the next $1 million company, be the next $1 billion company, you know what I mean? So every single day I work on it. It was a routine. No matter what, how tired I was, how sick, how sleepy, stuff like that, I was always working on it every day. The standard edition has been finished since May 2023. I think it should have been the deck I released in the first place. I want to take it more serious, way more serious than I did before with the Melanin Edition. When the standard edition is here, when all the packages are here for the decks and stuff like that, that's when I will release the standard edition along with the Melanin Edition and put them both on my site. And the difference is I'm working with a different manufacturer. Instead of working with Hanson, aka Chris, and stuff like that, wonderful person. I will definitely recommend anybody who want to do playing cards to work with him, right? But for me, I want to release fewer decks. Like, I want to have a much lower inventory than what I paid for originally, because with Chris, I originally paid for 1,000 decks. That was the minimum, right? 1,000. But with WJPC, the lowest is 300. So I want to go there. I want to head over there and buy 300 and see what happens, right? With the standard edition. So when I come across, wanting to release the standard edition and go through that journey, I will definitely bring you guys with me, because I should have done it with the Melanin Edition. All right, that's one of the things I learned. Another thing I learned is I should have brought you guys through the journey of making the cards, right? Instead of just marketing them, I should have showed you guys how I made them. But the thing is, I can't do that with the standard because it's already made. I got to do that with another edition. But that's pretty much what's going on with Slacks. Pretty much the backstory. I know it was super long, but I hope I kept you guys engaged. You know what I mean? It is a big story to me, and I feel like it's really entertaining. I hope you guys enjoyed my story behind these decks and where it's going. Currently the storage unit, and I'm in tug of war of starting another company. When I do continue to work on Slacks, when I do continue to, you know, push the standard edition, I'll definitely bring you guys with me. And with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I gotta do this all over again. Regardless, whether I choose a new business or doing the standard and stuff like that, it's new water. It's a new comfort zone. So I gotta handle the headaches, the despair, the doubt, and stuff like that. I gotta do it all over again, but with experience. So I'm a little excited.